This is Health Yeah, your weekly update on what's going on in the health, wellness, and medical world with Monica Robbins.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning into Health Yeah, your prescription for clear, concise, easy to understand medical health and wellness information. I'm Monica Robbins. So, have you tried CBD yet? Do you even know what it is? Well, CBD is a chemical found in marijuana that doesn't contain THC, the stuff that gets you high. It's sold in various forms, from creams to liquids to gummies, and it's also a billion-dollar business and only expected to grow as more states approve the use of marijuana and its derivatives. CBD is being studied as a treatment for a wide range of conditions, including Parkinson's disease, schizophrenia, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, and anxiety. But how is it you can go into just your normal store down the corner and buy some over the counter? Well, today's episode, as you can now figure out, is all about CBD, what you need to know, and how a local business is doing more than just cashing in on the craze. Joining me is Meredith Farrow, CEO of Clean Remedies, based in Avon, Ohio. Meredith, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Monica.
All right, let's start with the simple question everybody wants to know. What is CBD?
CBD is a cannabinoid, and scientists have found that there's about 150 cannabinoids. CBD and THC are the most well-known cannabinoids, or the buzzwords, but there are many other cannabinoids, and they all have a function or purpose. I kind of like to refer to them as vitamins per se, because it's almost easier to understand it, that, you have different kinds of vitamins, vitamin A, B, C, D, and that's like the cannabinoids. There's many different forms of cannabinoids, but CBD is one of them, and it stands for cannabidiol. And CBD typically comes from the hemp plant and not the marijuana plant.
So that's a big difference. People often get confused because they hear anything relating to marijuana, they automatically think it gets you high. Can you kind of explain the difference?
Yeah, so CBD does not get you high. Marijuana typically produces high THC level and low CBD, and hemp does the exact opposite. It produces high CBD and low THC. So we only get our CBD from the hemp plant. We do not even touch the marijuana plant, and all of our products that are manufactured here at Clean Remedies only come from the hemp plant.
So explain the difference, because I always thought that hemp comes from marijuana. Is it not the same thing?
Nope, it is not the same thing. So hemp is the sister plant to the marijuana plant. And so you could almost think of it as like a brother-sister plant. And if you're looking to, get the head high, be zoned out on your couch, get the munchies, you definitely want to consume marijuana or THC heavy products. If you are looking just to have some relaxation, maybe have some discomfort alleviated, then you're going to look for CBD products. Now, CBD products can contain a minuscule amount of marijuana or THC, but the federal legal limit is 0.3% or less. So all products that are CBD labeled, if you're going to have marijuana in them or THC in them, it has to be 0.3% or less.
So while we're on that level and legalities, what is legal in Ohio? What is not?
So legality wise, federally, because the federal farm bill was signed by President Trump in 2018, was that any hemp products that had THC could not exceed that 0.3% THC. So all products should be labbed by a third party, and you should be able to access those lab reports to make sure that your products you're buying don't have more than the 0.3% THC.
So how did you get into this business? Because you are a woman and a CEO of a company that seems to be very male dominated. Am I right or wrong?
You are right. It is very male dominated. I got into this industry quite a while ago. My husband had a childhood best friend who tragically took his life. And we started doing a lot of research on alternatives. And we noticed out west that they had legalized marijuana out west before, more the east side of the United States, and that, DUIs had gone down, suicides had gone down, domestic violence, yada, yada. And so we really started diving deeper into the cannabis industry. I personally had postpartum depression with both of my children and was put on a slew of different medications, benzos, antidepressants, and some of them were really hard to get off of. And CBD is what helped me to get off of some of those medications. And so I said, you know what? I really want to help other people. I want to make this available so that if you want a more natural alternative to big pharma, you've got it.
So how long has Clean Remedies been around now?
We've been around for over 3 years, and we started out in Rocky River, and then we had to expand. And so now we are in Avon, and we manufacture everything in-house. We ship everything in-house. The only thing we don't do is grow our own hemp, but that is all done in the state of Oregon.
And so people understand, this is not necessarily a store they can go to, correct?
Correct. So we don't sell out of our location. We are just the manufacturer. And what we do is we do have an online store, cleanremedies.com. And then we sell all across the country to many different wholesale accounts where you would be able to go and pick it up at whether it be a health and wellness store, a vitamin store, a doctor's office. We have the whole gamut of different people that we wholesale to.
So I'm glad you brought up doctor offices, because we're going to get to that in a second, but let's go back to the beginning. So what is it that people use CBD for? You kind of touched on it, but specifically, we know it's being studied, but the people who are buying it from your site, what are they using it for?
We typically hear our customers say that they're using it for pain, inflammation, anxiety, sleep issues, gut issues, depression. And I feel like all of us have at least one or two of those things going on in our life. So those are the top 5 things that people really tell us they use it for.
So, it seems like a miracle drug or substance, if you will, because I know that too, that a lot of people just use it for anything and everything. But really, there's limited research as to what it actually works on. Can you kind of touch on explaining, how do people know if they should try it?
Well, I'll back up a little bit, because when you said that it's almost like a miracle drug or it's too good to be true, a lot of people do think that. And what I tell them is that hemp actually was in our food chain many years ago. So it used to be illegal not to grow hemp. If you were a farmer and owned X amount of acres of land, you had to by law grow hemp. And the farmers would then feed that to their cows and pigs and chickens. And then when we would go to the farmer's market, we would be consuming the beef and the dairy and the eggs, and we would be getting the cannabinoids inside our body. Then Prohibition came and they outlawed marijuana, and they threw hemp in there. And so that was illegal for 80 some years until the 2014 Farm Bill, when we were allowed to start selling it again. So we have been deficient as humans for many years from cannabinoids. And something that I think is fascinating is that mother's breast milk actually has natural cannabinoids in it. That's one of the reasons it's so healthy for newborns. And so our bodies are craving this. Our bodies want this. We actually have an endocannabinoid system, and that helps to regulate pain, mood, immunity, many different things. And so when you're feeding your endocannabinoid system cannabinoids, you're creating homeostasis within the body. So a lot of times people think, oh, this is too good to be true. It's a miracle. It's not. It's that we have been deficient as a human race for so long, unless you were using marijuana or had a medical marijuana card out west, you were deficient in cannabinoids. So that's one of just a little history lesson. Regarding safety, it definitely, we always recommend you consult your physician. And especially if you're taking other medications, absolutely consult your physician. If your physician doesn't know a lot about CBD or hemp, you might want to ask the nurse. You might want to ask a different physician, or you can go online. There are so many sites that have some great information, and even doctors have written pieces for different sites. So by all means, we absolutely want people to go and consult their doctor.
So this is different than what people are getting the medical marijuana cards for. You don't need a card to get this.
No, you do not need a prescription. You do not need a card. You can go right onto our website and buy it. You can go right into a store and buy it. And this is different in terms of marijuana is really meant to get you high. It's meant to impair your brain. So, it might be difficult to drive or operate machinery or take care of your children. CBD is something that all people can take. The soccer mom can take it and drive her kids safely to soccer. The lawyer can take it while he's sitting behind the desk on his computer all day and think clearly. The teacher can take it and still deal with a classroom of children. So really the entire population can take CBD safely. It's not going to impair your driving. It's not going to give you a head high, and it's not going to give you the munchies.
So how often should people take it, and how do they take it?
So it really depends on the person and their ailments. So if someone told us that they have, let's say, some severe pain, we would recommend taking a tincture, which is oil that you put under your tongue. And we would recommend doing that 2 to 3 times a day. Now, if it was someone that had anxiety or someone that had maybe some depression, you may change that a little bit. So that's why it's also important when you are buying your CBD products or hemp-based products, whether it's online or in a store, that you ask questions. Most companies are very knowledgeable, or they should be knowledgeable. We have a customer service agent here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, always willing to answer questions if someone calls in. And then if you go into a store, they're very educated as well. So if you go in and you say, I'm taking it for ABC, what would you recommend? How often and how much? They should be able to help you. Typically, we say between 10 and 20 milligrams is the sweet spot. But of course, if you have, let's say cancer, or you have some severe debilitating pain, you may need more.
And what about side effects? Are there any side effects to taking it?
There are minor side effects. I tell people the most common side effect would be a little bit of grogginess if you took too much. So sometimes when you're trying to play around with how much to take, you could take a little bit more than you should, and all you would feel is a little tired, a little sluggish, and then you'd know the next time, take a little bit less. It can also create some loose stools for people, and that does typically go away within a week. And that's just because your whole immune system is working. It's trying to figure out a balance inside your body. And so it's nothing to be alarmed about. If it doesn't go away, I would absolutely reach out to the manufacturer or the store that you bought it from and ask them some questions.
You touched on the legalities in Ohio, and there is a limited amount of THC allowed in some of these products. But there's a product on the market called Delta 8. What is that? And what's the difference between that and the regular CBD gummies that people can buy?
Yeah, so Delta 8 is another cannabinoid, just like CBD or THC, and it is the newest cannabinoid that researchers have found. And the hype or the excitement behind the Delta 8 is that it's stronger than CBD. So for someone who hasn't found the right product or the right amount of milligrams to take with CBD, Delta 8 is a great alternative for them. It's going to be a little bit stronger. It's going to be, you're going to feel it faster. It's not going to take some time to feel it. So I like to refer to it as CBD's big brother or THC's little brother, kind of in between the two.
So, but it's not the same thing that it doesn't have enough THC to necessarily get you high, correct?
So it does depend on the manufacturer. Clean Remedies has taken a very conservative approach with our Delta 8 products that we manufacture and sell, and we're creating them in very low milligram amounts. There are companies that are going much higher and much stronger. You will feel high with those products. It will give you more of a buzzed feeling in the head, and it may even impair your driving. With our products, we wanted to take the more medicinal route instead of the recreational route. And so we feel that if you wanted to, be a little more relaxed or quote unquote high, you could take more of our products, more gummies, more of the tincture. But if you wanted it more medicinally, just to maybe take the edge off or just to relax a little bit more than CBD is able to help you to, you can take it in a smaller amount. So it's definitely a great product. I use it nightly to sleep. I've always been a bad sleeper, and it helps to calm my mind, shut my mind off. I'm still alert. I can wake up in the morning, no problem. If my child wakes up in the middle of the night, I'm up, I'm at it. It doesn't put me in a fog or a deep sleep, but it just takes the edge off a little bit more than CBD does for me.
None of these products are regulated by the FDA, correct?
Correct.
And how does that happen if there's a, Delta 8 has THC that could have some impairment to someone's, mental capacity?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're kind of in limbo with right now. It's a little bit of a gray area, there's certain states that have outlawed Delta 8. And so you do need to be careful if you live in one of those states. We cannot sell to you. And if someone is selling in that area, just be careful. The rest of the states, I think, are all trying to scramble to decide, is this something we adopt rules for? Do we just kind of let it slip? Everyone's kind of just waiting and watching. So the way the hemp works is that it's federally legal, but each state has different rules and regulations. Delta 8 is so new that there aren't any rules or regulations in place. The only state I know of is Florida that has said, we welcome it with open arms. We are not going to regulate it. That's the only state I know of.
And what's the law in Ohio relating to it? Because isn't there another thing called Delta 12, or do I have that wrong?
Nope, there are more Deltas coming out. So you will see like Delta 10, there's Delta 6. There are more coming out. It's so new right now that no one really has their hands on it. It's the researchers are still kind of trying to figure that out. Ohio does not have laws per se right now on the Delta 8. All of our products are under the 0.3% THC, but we do see products out there that are over that 0.3% THC in the Delta 8 world. And that's something I don't know if Ohio is going to crack down on or not.
Good to know. All right. So what's the difference between full spectrum, broad spectrum, and isolate?
Great question, because we get asked this all the time. So I go back to my analogy of cannabinoids being vitamins. So with full spectrum, think of it as the full plant. You're taking all of the cannabinoids or all of the vitamins and putting it into a product. That is going to be the most effective. Broad spectrum would be taking all of the cannabinoids minus the THC and removing all of the THC. That would be for someone who gets drug tested at work, someone who maybe has a prior addiction or is in a recovery program, or just, someone that doesn't want THC in their system. Then isolate is you're isolating one single cannabinoid, being CBD. And that would be the least effective according to research, because again, it would be like taking one vitamin versus all of the vitamins. So Clean Remedies, we have all three. We focus primarily on the full spectrum. We believe in full spectrum. It is scientifically proven to be the most effective, having all of the cannabinoids or all of the plant. But we want to offer people the broad spectrum and isolate if they want that as well.
So, I've gone into the store, I've seen CBD on the shelves, and I'm clueless. What is it that I need to be looking for? You talked about knowing where your hemp is grown, where it's coming from, but what else? Like, how do I know what's a decent product and what may not be something I want to put in my body?
Yeah, that's the perfect question, because I cringe sometimes when I see hemp and CBD at the gas station. You absolutely want to know where your hemp is coming from. Where is it grown? Is it grown in the United States? Is it grown overseas in, Asia or India, China? You definitely want to know where your hemp is coming from. Then you want to make sure that you have a third-party lab result to it. So we send our products out to a third-party lab that we have no affiliation with, and they give us a lab report back. That is so that the consumer is confident that we're not doctoring our own labs. You know exactly what's in it. You also want to make sure that they do a full analysis on the lab, that they test for mold, mildew, pesticides, heavy metals, residual solvents, because hemp is a bioaccumulator and it sucks up all the heavy metals, toxins, all the nasties in the soil. It will suck up, and farmers actually use hemp to clean their soil. So then you want to make sure that you have a QR code on your product, because the QR code is going to link you to the labs. If you have a smartphone, you would just hover over the QR code and it would bring the labs right up. Then I personally think organic is the number one most important thing that you should look for. Clean Remedies is USDA certified organic, and that is saying that the soil we grow in is certified organic, the end product is organic, our lab is organic, everything we use has to be natural and organic. And I think that's really important, especially when you're ingesting products.
Is there like a badge or something on the bottle or container that I should be looking for that has all of these things you're mentioning?
So if you're looking for the QR code, it would be a sticker that's just a QR code that, is either printed on or labeled on. Then you want to scan it and make sure that those are lab results and not just taking you to their website. The USDA certified organic, you would see the little round symbol that has the USDA organic on it. And regarding where the hemp is grown, you have to do a little digging and research. So I would recommend if you're at a store, you research the manufacturer, you find out what company is manufacturing this, email them, call them, ask them, is your hemp grown locally? Is it grown in the US, overseas? Are you organic? Are you kosher certified? What certifications do you have as a company?
What is your most common product that Clean Remedies is selling? And what are the price points? People should be aware of how much they may be able to spend, because this isn't cheap.
You're right. So we started Clean Remedies with tinctures. That was our main line of products. And we now have 3 different milligrams and 3 different flavors. And those would be our most popular, the 350 milligram, 900 milligram, and 3000. 900 milligram is by far our most popular tincture. It's the middle of the road one. We then have gummies, which are wildly popular. People just love gummies, the way they taste and, the texture. We have 5 different kinds of gummies, some for energy, some for sleep, relax. We have a Delta 8 gummy, and we have an immunity gummy that has different vitamins in it. And then our topicals, those are always really popular. Roll-ons, creams, face line, face oil, face moisturizer. We have a fiber that's great for anyone that has GI issues. So we really have a pretty large range of products for consumers to choose from, but definitely our tinctures, our gummies, and our topicals are the most popular.
All right. Any final thoughts? What do you want people to know and understand before we leave?
I think if you have not tried CBD, you need to. It's worth a shot. We offer money back guarantee. So if you buy from us and you don't like it, you can get your money back. It is something that has helped hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people across the United States with so many different health ailments. And the calls that we get on a daily basis just sometimes bring us to our knees with gratitude that we're able to help a person or a family that was really struggling. And so I think that if you're looking for a natural alternative, you have nothing to lose trying Clean Remedies CBD products.
All right. Meredith, thank you so much for being with us. One more time, what's the website?
It is www.cleanremedies.com.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Monica.
Please find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monica Robbins. Catch up on health news and future podcasts on my Facebook page, Monica Robbins WKYC. Video podcasts are uploaded to my YouTube channel. Just search Monica Robbins and please subscribe too. Keep up to date on all of your news, sports, and weather on WKYC.com and the WKYC YouTube channel, and please follow the WKYC social media accounts as well. Random acts of kindness are good for your soul. Practice them daily. I'm Monica Robbins. Until next time, have a healthy week.
Thanks for listening to Health Yeah with Monica Robbins from WKYC Studios. Subscribe now so you never miss an update. And find more on everything you heard here on WKYC.com and on the WKYC app.